Hello and welcome to I Want to Grow, and I Want to Grow is all about that, right? It's about our growth, and we all want to grow, but with our guests it's totally different. They want others to grow, and today we've got a very special guest that's come all the way, traveled all the way from New York today. Sonia, thank you so much for coming on our podcast, and thank you for traveling all that way and spending this time with us.
Well, pleasure is mine to be here. Actually, I heard about you and our common friends recommended very much to be here. And Doha is beautiful, so yes, it's worth being here, worth traveling and inspiring those who are listening to us.
Let's go back all the way and you can tell us your story, but when it first started for you.
25 years ago, I was a scholar of Visiting Arts London program for the art management. And by graduation, I'm a conservatory graduate as a pianist. But of course, I'm not a professional pianist, only by diploma, I confess.
Okay.
So my work started with founding Music International Festival, which was on the 6th year of after collapse of Soviet Union.
Okay.
And so we built it absolutely on ruins, having Edinburgh Festival, having major great festivals of the world in front of our site and trying to build that ecosystem in our region.
Oh, wow.
And that was a lifetime dedication to bring the results we were expecting to real life.
And just run through some of your success stories that you've had in that all that time.
Yes, region first time faced orchestras like Vienna Philharmonic, Berlin State Orchestra, La Scala Philharmonic, Royal Philharmonic from London, Amsterdam Royal Philharmonic. So all those orchestras are, it's a proud for any country of the world, and to have them all in our region, to have them all in Armenia, and to connect, to create these fantastic bridges. That was achievement. I agree with you.
Yeah, that was an achievement, and it must be. But you've not just gone into classical. You've now gone into so many different other areas, right? You're into pop. You're into everything.
We created that empire for classical music, and with a strong foundation for education too. So the festival founded academy, and the greatest musicians of the world were giving master classes there, and were supporting young artist careers, which is very important because festival itself is a mechanism. It's a living institution to create environment, to support local culture. It's the first impression that we are bringing artists in, but that's reflective power is so strong to build local culture on an appropriate level to make it better.
But it's like going through a process because, as you said, you were studying as a pianist.
Yes.
Right? That's one thing. But then you were then all of a sudden you find your life being pulled into different directions. And instead of doing something that you thought you were going to do, it's now doing something for that country of yours. And going all over the world and sharing that experience. It must be a powerful, powerful life you've had so far.
It is. I think in occasion of 25th anniversary of our festival, I am obliged to publish some memories, some books with backstage stories, because we really dealt with some of the greatest musicians of the world, like Placido Domingo, Andrea Bocelli, and Hcie𝘀𝘁𝘁, Joshua Bell, greatest names of our century, and contemporary composers like Krzysztof Penderecki, and many of them we can't count, but that's really it's a gift for the people who feel the live performance of those great masters.
The question I'm just longing to ask is, this feeling that you've done from the very beginning, did you ever feel for 1 second that that's what you were going to achieve in the very beginning?
No, actually. We were fanatically dedicated to make this happen. No any other power can achieve this because, again, the environment was not ready for that, so we were breaking walls by every action, every year. It took us huge dedication to make this happen. And the region recognized our country, Armenia, where we built this festival as one of the 10 best festivals in the world at all. So an EU Commission for Culture sent a video message congratulating that time 15th anniversary of the festival, saying that you put Armenia on the cultural map of the Europe and the world. So that's the importance of events, of bringing those celebrities and making your country branded, well recognized, respected, and educated.
That is incredible. But I do want to kind of, just for people that are watching this podcast, is it, you must have had a lot of people that didn't believe that you could do this.
Of course. There were some official jokes that, there were some movies from Soviet times, and there were some expressions which people used to use as a describing failure, and it was many times applied to us that that's going to be failure when you found the expressions. That's challenging, rewarding.
But how did it,
Yes.
it's rewarding after you've gone through it, right? And you can look back at those times and saying to them, haha, I showed you. But it must get very lonely. It must have been what was that thing that pulled you through those times when you thought you had the day that they character?
I was very inspired by the idea to make this happen. And this is so much humanistic. This is so much life-changing. After every concert, when we see the faces of people who are in audience, they are leaving the house changed. And this is lifetime impression. And the moment we see the result, that gives so much power to continue doing this, and to not only doing, but to expanding activities to another fields.
I was lucky enough that I have experienced music. And Ronnie Stars, I was talking to you with the jazz club in London. And for me, I didn't like jazz, but all of a sudden I liked it because it opened me up to so many different ways for music. And it was a way to share also in the sharing the likes of different people in the different types of music and the different types of jazz. It's like I've learned so much from music. This must be something that you've seen as your environment, your event has got bigger and bigger. To see that people learning from different types of cultures.
That's totally enlightening. And the influence of the festival is on public, social, cultural, educational, even foreign political spheres of life.
Of course, but this is the stuff that we brought people together also, right?
Yes, the emotion which connects people inspired us to create larger festival, the second one, for pop celebrities. So in parallel of classical music festival, actually that's kind of phenomenon, because I don't know any other cultural institutions in the world, that brings classical and pop at the same time, with the same organizers and the same team and founders. So yes, and in 2022 we invited 50 Cent, and that went to another direction, a new huge platform, and already 45,000 audience we hosted from the very beginning. We have some other plus with Christina Aguilera, with Sting, with many other names that will unite economical sphere, because tourism is going to be developed and it's going to another level. And this is what we're combining: business, arts, and philanthropy. Those three things, I think we will succeed.
You've got a big team, I would imagine. But to have that encore must be the most lit thing.
Yes, standing ovations, and I'm telling you that emotion is so powerful that it gives us power to continue, because negotiations, getting partnerships, business, and all together, this is eco structure which demands a huge energy to continue to do. But we are booking greatest names, and we are planning to expand and to bring this beauty to other countries to share. Why not in Qatar, in the Gulf region? Because classical music, having world famous orchestras in parallel of that brings media attention of the world to that spot.
I know that you spoke just before, and I did reach out, because what I did was I just interviewed 50 people, 50 stakeholders that has been working with the British Council. I think and they were, that 90 years the British Council was being in business. And the things that they've done is quite staggering, really, because I didn't really know too much about the British Council at the time. But once I started delving into it, and once I started interviewing people, the work that they've done and the ripples that you're creating, and it's now turned into waves, that's insane, right? But it is, right? When you think to yourself how many people's lives it were touching, and then how many lives that they're going out and then kind of spreading the word, it's quite phenomenal. And there's ripples that we think we start in the beginning. If you look back on it, they're now waves. They're kind of the way that you put the whole country, and as you said, from everywhere around the world, it's coming to Armenia now.
We had honorary guests, we have members of royal families, famous politicians, people who became ambassadors of your event, of your activity, who were so much inspired by meeting those great musicians in that unique states geographically. Qatar and Armenia are very interestingly located, and the population and the lots of things are in common. So I think festivals have obligations to change countries and people's life, and this is what we do, and we see results immediately. So it's unique, and the festival phenomenon was created after the Second World War for bringing peace between the fighting countries. So peace, tolerance, understanding, love through different regions, nations, that's all festival can create. And the more festivals, the better life in the region.
I think I read something, and I might have the word wrong, I'm going to be embarrassed if I get them wrong, but the Ark of Harmony. Is that something like
that? That's the analysis of our second festival, Hcie, the Ark of Unity. So we call it Unity because, yes, there is a, Noah's Ark story, but we made it only Ark because we have 100,000 people on the concert. 100,000, yes. And that's the figure that we call it soft power, that it's not soft, it's a really hard power to change, people to better creatures. So it totally fights hate. It brings understanding. And, in our region, there are so many wars and misunderstandings. But when those people come to the concert of the famous artist and they share that emotion, they all change. This is proven fact. So I'm happy to serve that great mission, which is much beyond just the concerts.
And again, if I could take you back to the years that you were a student, this is what's getting me is how could you possibly know that this was going to be your life?
That's possibly mission, obligation on your shoulders, and you have to obey. Otherwise, providence will not help.
And do you think that, as you said, obey and being able to fulfill, and perseverance and determination, those are the key things that it's...
Determination, huge. And now we have young team members, and they're so motivated because they see what kind of way was passed before they appeared in the group, in the team, and they perform absolutely excellent. So we call it 25 years of excellence. This is synopsis of our anniversary for the Classical Music Festival, and yes, it's motivating so very much, powerfully. And I used to speak in different conferences, and I was a speaker in IVA, there was a women empowerment, different topics. But whatever we speak from the real experience. And that word has a power. It can go and motivate and change people's mind who were hesitating to start or not to do, because it comes from real love and result and achievements.
I think that if anybody hasn't been to Armenia, let's talk for 1 second about Armenia. It's one of the nicest countries I've ever been to, my wife.
Thank you.
And I remember we were talking briefly before. I used to come into the airport about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and then in the complete darkness, I would then find my way traveling to Sabah. Which year was that? I've been doing it for the last 4 years. So I've been going there every Sabah startup event. I've been going.
Great.
Yeah, it's amazing. And so you'll go all the way to, I think it's about 2,000 or just under 2,000 meters above sea level. And you've got one of the biggest lakes I think it's the third biggest lake at that height in the world, which is phenomenal. But the one thing I really admire about is the people. Right. And I always used to side skirt. So we always used to go out on the outskirts of Yerevan. And so I never got to see Yerevan until the last time. And what a beautiful, beautiful city that is.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Very cultural led as well.
Town is pink, it's tooth. So it's locust town, and the city and buildings are like, they are changing colors from pink to yellow to, it's beautiful city with 3,000 years history back and modern beautiful life. And very importantly, one of the most safest cities in the world. So we are in the Qatar and Armenia are in the first 6 who are in the list of most safest.
Well, and I got to say, the people, they got that real desire, determination, and they come together, right? They all come together, and and it's all about Armenia. When you look at people like yourself that's going all over the world, and you go, I think it's about 8 to 10 million people that are
In the whole world, right?
yeah, that kind of helps. And I remember meeting one of the guys, a film producer, top film producer, but he was in LA,
Yes.
and he was making the film for Netflix for the president that got assassinated, the young president, and he was doing the Netflix movie when I went there last, and he took me to the film set. So it's all cut.
No, in diaspora we have really country that we can feel proud of. They enriched the life and science of countries and culture they lived in, like Shahbaz Nabur, whose 100th anniversary we were celebrating this year. I had an honor of meeting him in person, and I organized his last concert in Armenia, Hcie𝘀𝘁. So, yes, there are people who changed with innovations, with Nobel Prize winners. Yes, they are Armenians. I feel proud for them.
How come you're all so smart? And I'm not just saying this because you're with me right now, but how is it that you're all so smart? And I mean really, really smart, top people in physics and so many different people from a technology perspective. You seem to have everything there.
Right. Thank you for all this welcoming attitude. I think we have really mission to make life of our country, our region, and general to fight these wars. We have to find the key to bring peace.
But you really do mean, and that's the one thing that I've noticed with because with the startup summits, even with those, we had people from all over the world, from all different places around the world, and where it brought those cultures together, and it was something special, I thought, and that's what keeps me going back every single.
These libraries are very important. That's not about culture, that's not about IT, it's about people and relationships and talents. That's much more than just the event.
So in all of this that we're saying right now, where do you go from here? What's your next steps?
International-wide cooperation is the right moment for us now to expand, because we have done concerts in New York in Carnegie Hall, in London Cadogan, in Brussels Bazaar, in Jerusalem Opera Theatre, so Vienna Musikverein, Wimbledon Hall. I mean, those are events that created such a beautiful bridges. We have to continue. Of course, we never worked closely with East, with Middle East, but this is what I would love to do, starting to do it now.
I want to ring on my phone now. I want to get hold of Hcie𝘀𝘁, who's the head of the in Hcie𝘀𝘁𝘁, the head of the British Council, because again, what he's doing is is doing exactly the same. He's trying to bring the music and different cultures, so that he's getting they're doing musical, they're writing music with having in mind the Pearl Divers. So they're bringing that music content, and the Philharmonic Orchestra they brought over, and they've got this music. I say they brought over. They've been helping them, obviously, and they brought so many different musicians, so many different artists, so many different kind of camera people that's come over, and they're sharing their knowledge and their expertise. So they've done so much, and they've got to be in contact with you guys. That's for sure.
I'm an in-house British Council alumni, so I would love to, and I was thinking about forming with structure of British Council organization here. for our area. And because there is a tax deductibility, very interesting process that allows that company to break. So I know there are three, like alcohol and gambling and cigarettes, three spheres, and then 3% of those spheres goes to the tax as a product council to continue to support arts.
Yeah.
This is a fantastic model that British Council works with, and we could apply to that for other countries to solve sponsorship and donation issues for the arts, which is very, very important.
Yeah, I definitely think that there's more collaboration there that can go on here, because I think Qatar is going through that journey that you've already been through, and they're getting more and more into that culture side, and they're listening to music and they're bringing it together. They're bringing that fusion of different types of cultures and styles.
We work more closely with the government, with private sector, with businesses, of course with cultural institutions of the world. That's fascinating. And when we create this synergy, it changes
It's
society's life.
Yeah, it's that knowledge share, right? And that knowledge sharing is where the power all starts to happen. And it's when we see it from other different positions and we try to take the best of what we see and then try to adapt it to our own culture, or try to kind of blend it together. And I suppose that's what you're doing on a really skipper right there.
Yes, indeed, I totally agree, and I admire your in-depth understanding of the issue.
I love people like you. I love people like you that put the dedication and that you put your life into it. And you're putting a life into it, not just for yourself, but you're putting it for other people. And that really is something very, very special. I want to know now, I know that you said you're going to go and try and do things around the world, but what stage can we, with what you're doing in Armenia, what is the next step for you? Are you going to get it, is it going to get bigger and better when it comes to...
It should be bigger and better, and should include more in the quantity audiences, more educational programs, and getting ready for 25th anniversary. That's an impressive date. And also the second festival for pop music, we want to develop it into the big platform, working for Middle East, for Eastern Europe, for other markets, for ex-Soviet countries, and created that big platform for entertainment, for tourism, for combining again business and cause and philanthropy.
I'm sure you could take a break right now. Why is this such a big... You're not stopping. Are you ever going to stop?
Oh, well, I can go to retire any day I want, but I don't know yet.
I can see you're that special type of person, and I really thank you for coming on to our podcast. And I remember going to Yerevan, and I can't wait for them to put because I think you are somebody special, let me tell you. And I think when we look back on it, that you're going to be held in high esteem. And I hope they put you, the big building where you have to walk up the steps, and they've got that picture of loads of people. The cascade, and where they've got the people that has done something.
Contemporary Arts Museum.
I hope they put you on there, would they?
Oh, do that, stop it. We're being invited to cover different events for 25th anniversary. You are warmly invited to be our guest, and I hope we will start cooperating with Qatar too, with this beautiful, blessed country, and to make fantastic things happen.
You keep on doing what you're doing. You are one special lady. Thank you so much for coming to join us today here. You are one special person. I wish you all the best for the future. I really do. Because I know the more you do, the better people are going to gain from it. So thank you so much, Abhi.
Thank you for this appreciation.
Thank you. Thank you for watching this time. This time was special for me. It's always a special time for me when you have people like Sonia that is going out there and started off because she was just doing something because it was part of her studies. And then all of a sudden it turns into something different. And then you're traveling all over the world and you're doing something incredible for your country. It starts with just that one seed. And you are that seed and you can make a difference. Thank you, Workiter. Thank you so much for helping us to run podcasts like this here. This is the power that they give us. So thank you so much for your continued support. Thank you again, Sonia. It was a wonderful experience. Thank you. Until next time, bye for now.